Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Let's wait a couple of minutes and we'll start. Great. So more people are joining. So let me do an introduction. Once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our final session for our Copilot Academy. Today, we're closing the series with a very important next step, which is custom Copilot agents grounded in work and web data. And as AI adoption grows, you know that the opportunity is no longer only about asking better prompts, but it is also about building AI experiences that are connected to the right information, designed for the right purposes, and trusted enough to support your real business decisions, real everyday work. In today's session, we'll look at how Copilot agents can work with your organization's files, emails, meetings, chats, and many other enterprise data sources. And we'll also cover how agents can be extended with secure web data, how instructions can improve accuracy, and how organizations need to consider around permissions of your data security. So as always, feel free to add your questions in the chat or Q&A box during the session. And I'm pleased to introduce once again your well-known Muzamil and Rahat, our AI adoption experts. And thank you so much for having all of this series. And we're super excited to learn more about AI agents in this series. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. And Muzamil, I'm giving the stage to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Annie, for that introduction. So, again, just a very good morning from my side, and welcome everyone to our final session in our series of webinars that we have. And so, as Annie mentioned, we are living in this AI era, and it's very important for us to, keep up with the real-time updates that we have in the industry, and that is why we have organized this series of webinars. And for the final one, we are going to look into, let's say, going to explore into Copilot agents and how you can build them while grounding your agents within your work environment. So that's what we're going to look into now. And I hope you can see my screen right now. I'm just going to share the presentation that we have. All right. So let's begin with a very short introduction to agents. So let me give you an overview of what we will be covering in this webinar. So I'll be first giving you a bit of theoretical overview of about agents and how they work, the different type of agents that we have. And then my colleague Ragad will be giving you a practical demonstration about how you can build agents within your Copilot chat and publish them across your work ecosystem. And again, as Annie mentioned, if you have any questions at any point of time, you can type your questions in the chat box. We'll be addressing them as we move forward with the webinar. So, all right, so let's move on with the introduction of Copilot agents. Now, in our previous webinars, we have talked a lot about Copilot, how Copilot helps with your work stuff, how Copilot works within your work environment inside your tenant boundary, how it secures your data. Now we have a subsection. So we have a part of Copilot, or let's say a subsection of Copilot called Copilot agents. Now this is what we will be looking into. Now, agents, They are specialized or let's say customized copilots that are designed to help you with very specific use cases, very specific tasks. So your agents, so let's say you have a Copilot agent, your agent can be grounded on a specific knowledge source. It can be given a specific set of tools to automate stuff, automate tasks for you, and it can be connected to your organization's data policies. So it stays within your tenant boundary and respects your user permissions. Now, as you can see on my screen, this is the textbook definition of an agent. It is a custom AI assistant designed to enhance the capabilities of M365 Copilot by connecting it to your organization's knowledge source. And these agents can assist users in performing a variety of tasks, working alongside you to offer suggestions, automate repetitive tasks, and provide insights to help you make a informed decision. So this is the, let's say, the textbook definition of an agent. But in simple words, it's a custom made Copilot. It's a customized version of Copilot. And again, there are a lot of benefits of using agents within your work environment. These are some of them. You can automate repetitive workflows. So let's say you have a mundane task or a repetitive task that you do on a daily basis. That process or that particular task can be automated with these agents. So it can handle routine queries, form submissions, approvals, etc. It can enhance customer engagement. So if you build an agent for your customer service department or maybe for your vendors and clients outside your organization, it can provide instant support and responses back to them. It can reduce human error. So without, let's say, it can ensure consistency while communicating with other people. It can be integrated with business systems. So let's say you have a CRM or a ERP tool that you use for your work purpose. Those tools, so let's say those applications can be connected with your agents. So you don't have to even leave the application. You can directly use your agents to get things done across different CRM tools or any ERP platforms that you use. It can work across platforms. So it is already Copilot agents are directly embedded within your teams, web apps, and even M365 Copilot. So if you want to publish it in across any different application, across the Microsoft environment, or even third-party sources or third-party platforms, that is also possible. It entirely depends on your use case and your requirements. Now, as we have seen a lot of agents that we have demonstrated in our previous sessions, we have agents across the M365 spectrum. And this is where we have categorized agents depending upon the complexity, depending upon the level of complexity. Now we have three different buckets or three different categorizations depending upon the complexity of your agent. And the first one, or let's say the simplest one that we can first start with is called the retrieval type of agents. And the retrieval agents, they just they don't automate things for you. The only job that the retrieval agents do for you is to retrieve information on your behalf. And these agents, as I mentioned earlier, they are grounded on a specific knowledge source, on a specific data set. And depending upon your query or depending upon your prompt, it just goes into that particular knowledge source and fetches you the information. So this is very helpful when you have maybe a large knowledge source, a large repository of data, and you want in a much more efficient manner or in a much more quicker manner, you want to retrieve data using an agent. This is the type of agent that you will be moving forward with. It's called the retrieval agent. Now, as we move forward across the spectrum, we have the next one called the task-based agents. Now, the task-based agents, in addition to retrieving information, they can also take actions when you ask them. So this is where we start automating things. We start to give it some tools and actions to perform. And on your behalf, on your prompt, on your command, these actions can be carried out by the agent. So it can be as simple as like maybe sending out an email or maybe creating a meeting or let's say scheduling a meeting with your colleagues or maybe creating a SharePoint folder or let's say updating an Excel sheet, whatever it is, whatever task that you want to do with your agent within your Microsoft ecosystem or let's say within your work environment, that can be automated with the help of the task-based agents. Then at the end of the spectrum, on the right-hand side, we have the autonomous agents. So on the higher side of the spectrum, we have the advanced or the autonomous agents. And so the autonomous agents about them, so in addition to retrieving information and taking out actions, they operate independently, which means they don't need much human intervention. They are configured with something called as triggers, and based on the trigger, it will be able to carry out actions and retrieve information from the knowledge source. So they operate independently. They don't need much of human assistance, and if it's a multi-agent scenario, they can also delegate or let's say orchestrate other agents as well. So if you have a multi-agent setup where multiple agents are connected together for performing a task, it can automatically delegate and redirect the questions to the appropriate agents. So these are what we call as multi-agent orchestration. And that is more of the advanced side. It's called the autonomous agents. And for building these agents, again, we have different platforms according to the level of complexity and the and the type of agent that we require to build. Now, let's quickly go into, so for this session, we'll be more focusing on the Copilot Chat Agent Builder, which is the platform for building agents within your Copilot Chat. You don't have to leave the application or you don't have to log in somewhere else. Within your Copilot itself, within your Copilot account, you'll be able to build agents through an experience called the Agent Builder. So that's the name of the platform that we are going to use today in the session. So as you can see in the screen right now, you will be able to access your agents on the left navigation panel through the Copilot chat environment. And we already have some of the, let's say, the type of agents that we can create on Copilot chat. We have some of the examples that we have seen in the industry before. It's the onboarding buddy, the resume reviewer, contract and legal review agent, research assistant, policy search. So these are some of the most common examples that we have seen with our customers in the industry. But again, if you have your own use case, if you have another topic that you want to create your agent about, of course, we can test out the feasibility. So let's go into the platform. So again, while you're trying to build agents, you'll be able to see few, let's say, templates within Copilot. So these templates are kind of a pre-built or let's say pre-made templates from Microsoft. So what they do is while you're trying to create the Copilot agent, you can just go into your Copilot agent builder and make use of these templates. So some of the agent templates are the writing coach, idea coach, prompt coach, learning career, meeting coach, quiz tutor, scrum assistant. So these are some of the pre-built templates within your agent builder. And what they do is they help you start building your agent without you needed to start it from scratch. So without pre-configuring your agent or configuring the description and the instructions on your own, you can make use of these templates to start, help you start building the agent. And while you're building the agent, if you are again, I would only recommend you use these templates if you are a beginner. If you're starting with of your first agent, if you are still beginner for these type of agentic tools, I would always recommend you start with these templates. Otherwise, if you have a little bit of experience, if you're trying to explore more, if you want to play around with the platform, I would not recommend you go with the templates. I would recommend you to build your agent on your own from scratch. Again, all these kind of AI tools it's kind of new for us. So always learning by playing it around with it. That's the best way on how you can learn about these tools. Yeah. So those are the templates that we are gonna look into. And let's go into the practical demonstration. So I would invite my colleague Ragat to show you a practical overview of how the agents are built within the agent builder. And then again, if you have any questions while we are doing the demo, please put your questions in the chat box. I'll be here to help you with that. So Ragat, over to you.
Thank you so much, Muzammil. It's always great to listen and be with you, and I'm really happy with the audience and the number of attendees, and I'm happy to see like many attendees are joining our series frequently. So this is great, and it means a lot to us, and this is like our obligation at Cloud for Work. One point, Muzammil, is that it is too hard to keep an eye on what is changing in AI because it's changing every day, right?
Yes.
But let's see, like when we get the concept or when we get the idea, the rest is just to capture throughout the way. So it's a journey, and this is what we emphasize throughout our series. And definitely, it keeps evolving. It's one of the very, let's say, very dynamic and changing every day. One of the industries that is really very dynamic and changing every day, and we learn every day. We explore every day and we test every day. Thank you so
Day you
much.
open Copilot, there is a different change or there's a different update. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes you just get, okay, what happened? I'm planning to demonstrate something else, but definitely this is the way we learn. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen, and definitely feel free to address your questions and thoughts and comments and concerns at any point of time. So if my voice is audible and my screen is visible, kindly give me thumbs up so that we are aligned.
Yes, Raghav, we can see your screen.
Thanks so much, Muzammil. So for the questions, anyone, like if you want to speak up maybe towards the end of the webinar, but definitely post your query in the chat box, and Muzammil will definitely take care of that. So basically, today, as based on the introduction given by Muzammil, I'm going to focus on the concept of creating an agent. So basically, an agent, it's not that I want to create an agent. No, we need to understand the idea. So there is beyond what is beyond creating an agent. What is the idea? What is the purpose? What is the service I'm doing to my employees or to the enterprise or even to myself? So it's not just about, okay, let's follow the trend and do an agent. Not at all. We need to understand the scenario and we need to understand the use case, and we need to make sure that that selecting the agent is the right solution for our use case. This is first. Second, generally, we are focusing in all our series throughout this academy. We're focusing on Copilot platforms. So today I'm using the Copilot chat platform. Yet we will introduce, Muzammil and I, we will also introduce advanced agents when we are building these advanced agents with Copilot Studio as well. But as I told you, in the concept of agents, the idea is to understand what we are doing or what is the service we are presenting and giving to our enterprise and our employees or even to ourselves. Then we can generalize it and globalize it and make people use it so that it's for the benefit of everyone. So the idea or the concept why we are using agents, this is what really matters. This is my Copilot, and we need a license. So just like as a fresh, let's say a refresher. So we will just go and type Copilot chat, and then we will sign in, and we need a license. You can definitely build an agent without a license, but definitely there would be restrictions. When you have a license, these restrictions would be relaxed. So the concept is the same. Once I sign in with Copilot Chat and I have the license, this is how I know that I have the license, is that I can see this, my work IQ, and I can see the web, and I have access to different types of agents. As Muzammil said, today I'm demonstrating how we build a retrieval agent because the concept is the same. And then we improve and we develop with time based on the need. And that's why for agents, there is no let's say, booklet, standard booklet that we can follow all the time. It's definitely about experimenting, exploring, and testing and investigating each and every step of building the agent. So if I go here into agents, you can see as if you are having your agent store. We have built-in agents from Microsoft. Like it's like built in, you can easily use it. And again, this needs a paid license. Some of these agents are available on the free license, but as we said, the more like with the license, you will have exposure to more advanced agents. So see here, we have analyst agent. This agent is developed by Microsoft as if it is designed to analyze data. So there is no need to build an agent to analyze data because we have this. It's really very powerful, very useful, and it's built on a Python as a programming language. It's great for visualizing a huge amount of data and run it and share it at enterprise level. Researcher, as if you're doing a global research, and you can identify the topic and take it and like create all what you need within this agent. So see, as you can see, each agent is built and designed for a certain purpose, and also some of these agents are really empowered with great LLMs. Like in researcher, you can use GPT models, you can use Claude models. So they are also empowered with LLMs. Now, what I'm going to demonstrate today is building an agent. These agents are also like what Microsoft built. These are built by Microsoft where you input your prompt and you get output. This is the type of agent that Microsoft have released in the market for enterprise users. Now, what I'm going to create today is creating an agent. I'm going to click on that, creating an agent, and I'm going to create a retrieval agent, the one that Muzammil highlighted in his slides, which is basically same thing, given an input from Ragad or from the team or from the user, and then getting the output. But again, we should understand the scenario. So I'm going to give the scenario and then start with creating our agent so that you would understand what is the concept behind it and why did I decide to go with creating an agent. Because first we need to make sure that is the agent the right solution for my use case or for my the service that I want to do for the enterprise. And see here, we have, like when we move from retrieval, we move higher. We have another agent that is co-work. Co-work is no longer retrieval. It is task, it can do tasks on my behalf. So now there is a huge topic about selecting the right solution for the right use case or for the right scenario. When to go with agents, when to go with co-work, and when to go with Copilot Studio. And that's why we need to know what we are building, what is the scenario, what is the use case, and what is the service. Let's take the scenario from my side today. And let's assume I'm going to just go here to my SharePoint sites. And let's assume I'm doing a scenario for procurement people. So we have procurement people working on the procurement department. And my job is to help the procurement officer save time and energy, go back to any purchase orders, previous purchase orders, without the need to open all of these purchase orders. Or like if we have a database of previous purchase orders, I want to save the time and energy and effort for my procurement officer, because this is important for me as an enterprise. And rather than opening each and every file and compare them and look into our past records, what did we purchase? What suppliers have we dealt with? Or like what price did I get previously? What are the suppliers and the vendors who provide me with the best prices or with the best who are available in the local market, or like evaluate and compare between different suppliers based on different evaluation criteria. So rather than opening each and every file, this is a repetitive task, and go back and check what did I purchase in 2024? What did I purchase in 2020? I don't need to do that, or I can definitely help support with creating an agent and ask, and just like the officer can just prompt this agent, get a comparison quickly and get idea of previous or historical purchase orders. What did we purchase? And just do comparisons and make a decision, help in making a decision with what supplier I should go based on my evaluation criteria, whether it is availability in the local market, whether it is the lowest price, whether it's a combo between both. So rather than opening all of these and it's manual work, repetitive work, we can definitely create an agent for this purpose. So this is the idea. My idea is to help support the procurement team, save time and energy, and remove or reduce repetitive work, opening each and every file and validate and compare, and do an agent do this or let an agent do that for me. Let's just open a random file. And again, it can read multiple type of files. So it can read, like, for example, PDFs, long PDFs, and completely scanned files. So even if you have completely like scanned files, this is also doable by Copilot. And here, as you can see, I have this like the supplier info. This is the name, and this is like their contact information, what I'm buying, the quantity, the unit price, and so on and so forth. They don't need to be the same template. So see here, I have many templates. And again, this is just a sample. It definitely could be more. Like you can have many, like a huge SharePoint site where you save, or a directory where you save many of these purchase orders. But the concept here is to get the idea. The use case is to save time and energy reduce manual work of opening and validating each file and comparing against each other. And it's not just like a control F, because here we are building different scenarios, comparing and evaluating and help in like a decision making. No actions are to be done because this platform, the platform that I'm going to use today, is limited only for retrieval agents. So if I'm going to do actions, we will hit towards the end of our session into more advanced agents where we have actions. I can tell my agent, go and send an email. When you see this trigger, do this and that. So we can move from retrieval to more task-oriented to more autonomous. But the concept is the same. Understanding the scenario is the core, because when we understand the scenario, we can select the right solution. So my solution here is to go with an agent. Why is that? Because I don't want to run that on Copilot chat, the regular Copilot chat, because I want to create it only for this directory, for this, the database of purchase orders. I want to control the knowledge database, and I want to feed in some basic prompts so that it's there for all the procurement team. And the value here is to save time and energy and effort for my procurement officer. So this is how we identified the scenario and how I decided to go with retrieval agents. Why not tasks? Because in the meantime, this cannot be done within a task. If I want to, let's say, build up on my agent and make it send emails and like contact suppliers, I can go to Copilot Studio, and maybe towards the end of the session, Muzammil can show us how we can build on this agent and make it do actions on my behalf. So first, take the idea, phrase it and frame it the right way, select the right solution, and then take it from there. So in agent, it's not just the technical capability. In agents, it's also more about the design and the idea and designing it the right way. So let's go with the creating an agent. And as you can see here, we will go through multiple steps. Muzammil mentioned that we have templates. I'm just going to start from scratch. I can click on skip to configure, but it's always important to talk to your agent just in natural language. So what I want to do is help me create. You can also prompt in Arabic, as we mentioned before. Help me create a procurement agent, assistant, or agent to help the procurement team evaluate different offers, review previous purchase orders, and compare between suppliers or vendors, and help support with the decision for future purchases. Again, there are softwares that can take care of that, but the idea with AI is to involve AI in our work. Softwares are static. Here with AI, we're saying that this solution can be developed, this solution can be enhanced, this solution can be can get more and more features with time. Let's go ahead and hit on generate. The idea of this input is just to help me build my agent using natural language. Then I can configure it. So let's just hit on generate and let's see how would Copilot go with that. So again, here it's only retrieval. The idea is to save time and energy for my procurement officer. He is an asset. I don't want to waste his time or her time just reading or like doing a comparison manually. So he or she can use this agent, get what they want from previous and historical purchase orders, get an idea about what, let's say, vendors I dealt with previously, and take it from there. So see here, when we did that, Copilot just talked to me here, and it's just telling me this is what I did. And as you can see now, we have reasoning. Reasoning is what happened at the back end. I drafted this procurement advisor. So Copilot decided on that name based on my description. It added a focused description. It wrote an instructions for me that I can definitely validate and orient. And this is the orchestration that Muzammil referred to. So whatever I'm going to do today in the retrieval agent definitely will apply. If we decided to use Copilot Studio, if we decided to add more capabilities to my agent, same concept, but we will get more capabilities moving from one platform to another. And Copilot also added suggested prompts. And now it's telling me I can click on test, or I can just preview it, or I can create it. Definitely first, I need to like just configure it and go to the settings and make sure that it makes sense. And I need to support it with some material. I can do that from the beginning, which is managing the resources. But definitely I like to do it in the configure phase so that I can talk to my agent and follow what it is doing. So first, this is the name, Procurement Advisor. It provides help and assistance with any purchasing or like procurement decisions at our enterprise. And as you can see here, I can use the auto model, quick response, think deeper, and hopefully we will have a flexibility to select between different LLMs. Like hopefully Claude should be added, and also GPT models and so on and so forth. In the meantime, we have these models that are built in from Microsoft, but I'm just showing you that really we have, it's a journey. Every day there are changes. And when we add LLMs, it's completely a different agent, because the way the agent would deal with my prompt it would be different. So more to come in selecting the LLM. Now let's review the buckets. If I scroll down, we have multiple buckets. We have the instructions, which is the orchestration of my agent, the knowledge database, where I control what I want my agent to read. I don't want to make it read everything. In the meantime, it reads everything. I want to make it read a certain source or a certain directory, which is my SharePoint, or which is like my purchase orders. What capabilities I want to give to my agent. And this capabilities, as I told you, is limited on this platform. This is today. In the future, I'm sure we will see more relaxation. AI journey is definitely very promising, and we will witness a lot of changes and similar to what is happening in our day-to-day routine. And suggested prompts. Let's visit these buckets together. Let's review, validate, and make sure it makes sense to us. I'm okay with the name. I'm okay with the purpose, which is help the procurement team, evaluate vendor offers, compare suppliers, review previous purchase orders, and support decision for future purchases. Now the instructions. You can keep it. Who populated that? AI based on my description. You can completely delete this and give your own instructions, and you can definitely keep them and just like ask Copilot, like just fine tune. So I'm fine with the purpose. The guidelines looks good to me. I can just add some of these guidelines. I would tell Copilot always end with this sentence. You can also add Arabic endings as well. It is recommended to validate the end for above. And with agents, it is also recommended that we always pay attention to what? To always continuous improvement. We cannot just build it and leave it. We build it, we implement it for 3 months, 6 months, and then we come back, we visit, and we add what has been added, or like we add additions and we enhance more and more. So it's even when we build an agent, it's not like the end. We should always provide continuous support, and this is also what we do. So I told my Copilot always end with this sentence. It is recommended to validate the end for above. I want my agent, I'm controlling, or let's say, I'm telling Copilot how, or my agent, how I want it to orchestrate, how to behave. Always do this. I can tell Copilot, always use tables when asked about like something, when asked about this and that. I can also tell my agent here, never, or let's say, when asked to send emails, always direct end users to contact the procurement manager. So they cannot, like, if anyone, or if any end user, or if any user of this agent asked you to send an email to a vendor or etc., always direct them to contact the procurement manager. So see here, in the instructions, you define the orchestration, the behavior of your agent, how you want it to behave, what responses do you want it to give to end users. And this definitely can change with time. And that's why we say continuous improvement should always be there. Now the skills, this is what it does. It review the supplier quotations, compare offers, analyze previous across price, etc. And it does evaluation between different suppliers, who is offering me the best price, who is in the local market, who is abroad, and so on and so forth, based on my criteria. Step-by-step instructions. You can keep it, and as I told you, you can delete all of that and just write a couple of words as an instruction. But it's always good to make use of what AI is populating, given that we validate. With AI, validation in a human eye is definitely a must. Review the provided files, do this and that, analyze and compare, etc. Recommend the path forward, and so on and so forth. And by this, I'm done with my instructions. Definitely, you can amend more and add more as needed. Now, the knowledge bucket, which is where I decide what I want my agent to read. And with this paid license, it automatically reads your your email, your chats, and your your SharePoint sites. So see here, I can just if I scroll up, you can see that it can read my Word documents, all my environment. So you can attach any file, and you can upload also any files, and it can just sync through your environment. If I just connected it to my SharePoint sites, that should also, all SharePoint sites, that should also work. But in my case, I have my purchase orders on this SharePoint site. And if it is on, let's say, OneDrive, you can definitely attach it. And I'm going to add this SharePoint site. And here we go. It has been added. This is my SharePoint site. And as I told you, this is the directory where I'm saving all my purchase orders. If you have a folder with the previous purchase orders for the last 5 years, you can just add the link to it. And this feature comes with this paid license. If it is unpaid, then unfortunately we will need to look into workarounds. But this is what is offering. I'm just trying to differentiate between the different options that we have. And again, keep in mind that this is what we have today. AI is always changing, and every day we have a change, and more relaxations are, or let's say more restrictions are being relaxed. So here I will tell my Copilot, only use the specified resources. Yes, this will definitely boost my accuracy. I don't want you to search the web. Just use the specified sources, and I'm going to enable that. So this is the idea behind agents. You control the behavior, you control the knowledge database. In this case, Copilot is no longer reading any other environment. It's just this, what you have added, and you can definitely play around with other resources. If you have anything that is a Microsoft product, you can find it, you can add it here. You might tell me, Ragad, I have these purchase orders on another system, like SAP or like another database or etc. In this case, we need to go to Copilot Studio, and we need to look into a connector. Why is that? Because systems don't talk to each other. If I want to make them talk to each other, I need to connect them together through a connector or an API. Muzammil can walk us through this towards the end of our session. So again, here, even if I'm creating a retrieval agent, if the database is not a Microsoft product, so it's not like a SharePoint site, or if it is not an email, if it is not like if it is something external like SAP or other databases, we need to connect systems first so that they can read, and add AI capability so that they can talk to each other. And this is to be done through Copilot Studio as well. So this is the knowledge bucket, and you can add multiple resources. It's not just that. So if you have like each purchase orders for this year and the year before, you can add as many as you want. Literally, the restrictions are not too hard, are not too many. You can really add a good amount of folders and a good amount of, let's say, purchase orders. And even if they are completely scanned, Copilot can read this as well. What capabilities I want to give my agent to do? I can ask my agent to create PPT. It would also be basic, Excel files and Word. And see, this is not my decision. It is automatic from Microsoft. I can only disable or enable. You might tell me, Ragad, what I want to add another capability, which is sending emails. I would tell you doable, but we need to elevate. How to elevate? Go to Copilot Studio and connect it with a tool, or like ask it to send an email accordingly. So the more we want to elevate, the more we want to build up, we need to switch from retrieval agents to other type of agents, exactly as Muzammil have shown at the beginning of the session. So any changes to the knowledge database, connecting to external systems, any change to capabilities, sending emails, or like going through a workflow with approvals or etc. It's a different use case, different scenario, and that's why we need to select the right solution. And this is what I was just emphasizing at the beginning of my demo. So I'm going to keep this just creating documents, charts, and codes, and I'm going to just disable images because I don't need that, and it might also take capacity, which is like creating images. Now, this suggested the prompts compare between two offers, or review the past POs or supplier scorecard, or like future purchase advice, or I'm going to add my own prompt. I will tell my Copilot suppliers list. And again, what is the idea of this starter prompts? It's just like to click on them, to give people or to give end users a quick access for these prompts. So I'm going to tell my Copilot list the 3 suppliers for X product or for X item. Like what items, like if I'm interested in item headsets or item keyboards or etc., you can just replace the name of the item in a table. And then you can tell Copilot compare who is the best supplier in terms of price and etc. So we can also add another prompt. And see here, these prompts are just built in from Microsoft. So a supplier recommendation, the title of the prompt, and then the message itself. What is the supplier or the best supplier based on a certain evaluation criteria who offers lowest price and is local, or let's say is based in UAE. So you can definitely decide on what you want to add as an prompts. And once we're done with all buckets, and before we hit on create, we can definitely preview and test. And as I told you, hopefully more to come on the LLMs that you can select. And definitely this will be something really value added. And then we will just go to our preview. So see here, this is how would my agent look like. As if I created my own Copilot. These are the starter prompts. And this is the message that would pop up to the end users. And let's just test this prompt. And I'm going to just click on supplier list the 3 suppliers for X item. I'm going to replace that with headsets in a table. And let's go ahead and hit on generate. So it's just a part of testing. I'm testing my agent. Is it retrieving the right information? And we can test, like, for example, can you send emails? It would tell me I cannot send email, but I can help you draft an email. If you want to send an email, contact the procurement manager and something like that. And again, if I want to make this agent or like elevate or build up on this agent and give it the capability of sending emails, I need to switch to Copilot Studio. So see here, this is what I got, headset suppliers comparison. We have alpha, zeta, and eta energy. And again, this is just like dummy data. And again, as I told you, this is a real world scenario, a real world use case that literally helped a procurement department in one of the enterprises save time and energy and read the info quickly and just get what it takes quickly and easily. So we have the supplier, their addresses, and the unit price and the quantity as well. So I got all what I want for suppliers. And see here, we have key insights. So now I'm going to ask, and we have recommendations. If there is any missing info, Copilot is also giving me this info. And see, this is what I asked my Copilot or my agent to do, which is here. It is recommended to validate the info above, which is basically the sentence, the orchestration that I added to my agent. And see here, this is all of the purchase orders that we added as a part of our knowledge database. Now let's see. I'm going to tell my Copilot, are there any UAE-based suppliers for headsets? So see, you are doing the search quickly, easily, and like with incorporation with AI. Even if like your system, sometimes the systems are static. Now I know that some systems are adding AI capabilities, but the idea here is to make use of Copilot, given that I'm using a Microsoft platform, which is a SharePoint site or a OneDrive or multiple folders. As I told you, you can add as many as possible of the folders and even with long documents as well. So see here, it's telling me none of these are based in the UAE. In the UAE, all of them are in the USA, and that's why I need to make a decision accordingly. Recommendation, if I want to go with, like, I can go with any other agent based with any other supplier based on what I want. So see, exactly, I'm getting right info. We can definitely validate, but as I opened like an example with you with these purchase orders, this is like what we have, beta logistics headsets, and this is the quantity, and this is the unit price. We can ask our Copilot for more details, compare, show in a table, keep testing. Once done, we will hit on create, because like it's good to test for one or two and then create. And as I told you, this doesn't mean that it is the end. We need to keep always an eye on our agent. Continuous improvement should also be there. Procurement advisor, here we go. And this is like let's say the suggested prompts. Where can I find it if I decided just to go out of it? Where can I find it? Is if I go to agents, I can definitely find here my procurement advisor. This is my procurement advisor. I can hit on that and I can pin it. So if we go back, if you want to see it here, this is what other organizations do. I can just pin it. And once it is pinned, you can add it here and it should pop up here as well. So let's just pin. Here we go. This is my procurement advisor. And I can share it with my colleagues in my environment, in my organization. But in this case, we need to make sure that they can read my SharePoint or the knowledge databases. So we need to go back to this OneDrive and make sure that they have access to this OneDrive. And you can just keep it for yourself or share it. But the idea in agents is to share on enterprise level. We are driving change on enterprise level and not only on, like, let's say individual level. This is the idea of agent. Like the culture behind agents is to drive AI change on teams level and then enterprise level. So just we need to make sure that these permissions or like the people or like the users that I'm sharing with can access the files itself. Now, if we want to build up on our agent, we will go to what we call Copilot Studio. What can I add here in this Copilot Studio? I can connect this agent to other databases that are non-Microsoft product, SAP, Oracle, or like any other database that have maybe, for example, patients records, or like previous purchase orders, or like spare parts, let's say purchase orders, and etc. You can add it through here, through connectors. And I can add more capabilities, like send an email or like go through this flow and so on and so forth. Over to you, Muzamil, for a quick intro on Copilot Studio. And I'm going to just watch the questions in case there is still missed questions.
Thank you so much, Raghav, for that wonderful explanation. I really love that. All right. So as Raghav mentioned, for advanced agents, for let's say for advanced use cases, more complex automations, we have a completely different platform from Microsoft called the Microsoft Copilot Studio. And I'm just going to give you a very brief overview about it. And as I mentioned in my slides before, we have three different categories of agents. And when the agent that we want to build moves into into let's say the task based or the let's say the advanced categories, that is when we have to choose the Microsoft Copilot Studio platform. Now, the Studio platform, it's again a low code, we call it a low code platform for building these type of agents. You don't need much IT expertise or let's say IT support needed for building agents. But let's say for certain integrations which require a more complex workflows, or let's say if you want to integrate it with a third party app or maybe a CRM tool, for certain integrations, you might need to take the support of the IT team. But otherwise, it's a very user friendly, it's a very low code agent building platform from Microsoft. And as you can see, I'm on the environment right now. I hope you guys can see my screen right now.
Not
I'm on
yet.
the cover.
Yeah.
Still,
Okay.
it's not
Now,
visible.
now
Is it
it is.
visible? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Raghav. Yeah. All right. So this is how the Copilot Studio platform looks like. And as you can see, I'm on the new experience right now. And so if you just go back into the previous one, you can switch back to the older version of Copilot Studio. And again, the features and capabilities, they will not be changing. Only the user interface, the look and feel of Copilot Studio will be changing, even if you switch to the older version. So I'm just going to show you the newer one first. So you might, when you're trying to access Copilot Studio, you might feel some bugs and let's say a few update related issues there. But again, within a few days, Microsoft will be stabilizing the environment, the new environment for Copilot Studio. All right, so let me quickly give you a brief about what are the different capabilities here. Again, when you access it for the first time, always remember to log in with your work email address. And the first question it asks you is, are you ready to automate or are you ready to scale your workflow? So you can either create an agent or a workflow. It's completely up to you and up to your use case. But in this case, let's go with an agent. So here on your left navigation panel, you'll be able to see the option for accessing your agents here. Or if you're trying to create a new one, just click on create an agent option here. And that will take you to a very similar interface, just like the previous platform that Ragat showed you. Just like the Copilot agent builder, you'll get a very similar interface over here to give the agent's name, instructions, and the descriptions and so on. But in addition to those, you'll also get few other features, few other capabilities. So if you notice on your right navigation panel, you can choose which LLM you want your agent to utilize. So we have LLM. So previously, Copilot worked on the GPT series of models from OpenAI, but right now we also have the Claude Anthropic models as well, specifically the Claude Sonnet and Opus. So you'll be able to see all the different models that are available for your organization on the top right corner of your screen in the model selector over here. You can define some skills for your agent to use. So skills are basically workflows, or let's say the tasks that you can carry out by using your agent. So if you have a specific skill that you want to upload, you can upload it to your Copilot Studio. You can give it some tools and actions to automate. So this is where we start automating our workflows. We start giving it by some tools to perform the actions. So tools can be anything from your Microsoft environment or even connectors outside your M365 ecosystem. Now we also have another completely different type of tool called the MCP, the Model Context Protocol. So it's like a server with a bundle of tools connected together. So you will have a server for each and every application that you have within your Microsoft ecosystem. Or if you have a server, let's say a MCP server defined for an external application, that is also completely integratable within your agent here. So by pre-built, these are all the servers that you will have, the work IQ mail for, of course, for Outlook. So for each application, for each Microsoft application, you can see a pre-built MCP server here. So you can see for Teams, for SharePoint, for Dataverse, for OneDrive, for Outlook, for Azure Foundry, all these are pre-built MCP servers from the Microsoft ecosystem. We have in addition to MCPs, we also have connectors. So connectors are basically on the back end. These are basically API keys or API bridges between your agent and the third-party application that you're trying to integrate it with. So according to your needs, according to your requirements, you can add it few tools and capabilities based on what type of actions you want to automate. Again, just like before, we have to add it few knowledge sources for your agent to retrieve information on your behalf. It can be from your SharePoint, from your OneDrive, from your Teams, Outlook emails, whatever platforms that you want to give your agent as a knowledge source to ground your agent on that particular knowledge source. You can give it here, just like the agent builder. You can give it here in Copilot Studio. So this is how you create the agent. Of course, while you're creating the agent, you might face few roadblocks there, here and there, according to the type of integrations that you require. Let me quickly show you an agent that we have already built previously, so you get a better understanding of how the agents will look like after you have built them. So this is one agent that I have already built within my organization for my work purpose. It's called the Project Portfolio Manager. And the specialty of this project manager agent is it works on a multi-agent scenario, on a multi-agent level. Now, this main agent, it has been connected to other child agents, which means according to the prompt, or let's say according to the type of task that I want to do, it will be delegating or redirecting the question to the appropriate child agents. So this is what we call as a multi-agent scenario. And as you can see on the top of my screen, I have the child agents configured here. So according to my project, according to what kind of a, let's say the type of task that I want to automate, it will be redirecting the task to that particular child agent. So again, the process of building the agent is quite similar to the previous platform, but in Copilot Studio, the features and the capabilities that you get are a lot more than the normal agent builder. You can integrate it with CRM tools, API calls, ERP platforms. You can integrate it with any other MCP servers that you have. You can have it, let's say on a multi-agent level, you can connect multiple agents together to have your task completed. You can define the conversation between the user and the agent. So this is what we call as conversational orchestration. So through topics, so on the top we have an option called topics. Through the topic option, we can design the conversation between the user and the agent. You can evaluate it by giving it few test cases. You can manually evaluate it, or you can automatically evaluate it using the agent itself. You can deploy it across any channels that you want your agent to work with. So for internal deployment, of course, we have the Microsoft channels, which is Copilot, Teams, and SharePoint. But let's say if you want it for your people outside your organization, maybe for your customers or let's say clients or vendors, in that case, we also have options for external deployment across websites, mobile apps, third-party integrations, third-party platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, Slack, Telegram, etc., etc., etc. So it depends on entirely depends on where you want your agent to be used, who you want your agent to access, and who are the people that has to work with your agent. So that entirely depends on your use case and the target people of your agent. So that is a very quick overview. And as I mentioned, if you have the M365 Copilot add-on license, the Copilot Studio platform will be included in that license. So you can go there, play around, explore more on your own. And that is what we always say. All these AI tools are completely new to us every day. As we mentioned earlier, every day we have new tools coming up. We have new kind of agentic features coming up. Every day there's a new update. Every day there is a new feature or capability that is being developed. And it's our part to be, it's kind of our job to be on the forefront of these kind of agentic updates. We have to play around with it. We have to try to explore more with it, and eventually, inshallah, eventually we will be getting better with it, and we will be adopting AI in a much more quicker and better fashion. So that's a very short tip from my side. And again, if you have any questions, we can address them, or you can also put them in the chat box. We'll be able to help you with that. Any questions from anyone? Or
Yes,
yeah,
thank you
Rajat?
so much, Muzammil. We got just some, I think, important questions. So
Yeah.
from Rami, Deepak, and yeah, so for basically Copilot Studio doesn't need a license. It comes with the paid license from like your M365 Copilot license. However, the only difference is, as Muzammil mentioned, the publishing. If you are publishing in Teams or like in Copilot chat within your internal enterprise, no additional fees, no additional license. Publishing on a real website, there are billing plans for this, and I answered
Exactly.
this in the questions.
Correct.
I hope I answered Deepak and Rami. And for the question is that if we are able to do this work with other like N8N or other gateways or etc., it is on the roadmap, right, Muzammil, for Microsoft, so that we can work.
Yes.
Yes, but it's not, I mean, it is coming, so it is on the
And
roadmap. I hope
it's
also I
correctly,
answered that.
yes.
And you should be able to attach files from OneDrive, 100%. If you have the paid license, 100% you can attach files from OneDrive. Just go to this cloud icon, this cloud icon, click on it, and just select the files that you need. SharePoint sites are the best because they are like you can just take the link, copy paste, similar to what I did. But definitely it should work with other types of files as if you have the license. Benita, what did I miss from you? When a personalized agent is created, which is only work for me, then also the tool and can read Microsoft Excel, etc. I didn't get the question, Benita. So what's the point? You can ask if the question, the knowledge database, yes, everything. It can read everything. You can tell it to read everything, but what's the purpose if it is reading everything? Then it's a normal Copilot. You have to customize to make the accuracy higher and to make the pool from where Copilot is pulling is smaller and narrower. Anyone we missed? Stay
Let's check the
tuned
chat
for more.
box.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please go
I
ahead,
think we got
Muzammil,
all the
over to you.
questions.
Yeah,
I
over to
guess we
you.
got all the questions. Yes.
Okay.
All
Thank you,
right, everyone.
everyone. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. As a last note, I want to say that these sessions were, let's say, finalized, but please keep following us on LinkedIn and check your emails because very soon, probably at the end of the August, we'll have another very interesting, more exciting series. So yeah, follow us for having more updates. Thank you so much, Muzamil and Rahat, for an amazing session.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for
Bye bye.
attending. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.